How do you tell if someone is attracted to you or just being very friendly? Usually the realization comes 10 years later when you are trying to fall asleep. My cousin once told me, "Hey, remember my friend? She was pretty cute by the way. Yeah, she had a crush on you a few years back. Bitch, why the fuck didn't you tell me then?" Depends on where you live. Here in England, being anything other than cold and aloof is seen as basically throwing yourself at someone. Canadian who met some English guys, they all said I was insanely keen, and I didn't know what that meant. Learned later they thought my normal friendliness was obsessive flirtation lol. Do they ever initiate the friendliness? Responding to someone else's kindness is a lot different than initiating it. But even still, the only sure way to know is to ask. There is a girl that I work with that has asked me to go spend the weekend with her in NYC, so I would assume that she's flirting, interested in me. I mean, she's kinda flirty with everyone, it just seems like it's more so with me. She always makes a point to talk to me when I walk by, and we're always making each other laugh anytime we talk. But I'm afraid of trying to make a move, as since I work with her and she's way out of my league. If you get an arranged marriage, it's a 50-50. If they act the exact same way with other people, you're out of luck. Or everybody's in luck. Someone tells you years later, they tell you years later after you've moved hours away, and it turns out she never said anything because she thought you had feelings for her other friend who you didn't have feelings for. She was just sexually harassing you in the middle of English class. By how they look at you or act around you versus other people. Difficult to gauge if you both are alone, say in a concert or a trip. As my dear old dad used to say, women who work for tips are not flirting with you. We used to extend this to, if she's being paid to talk to you, she's not interested. By reading someone's comment on Reddit about how they missed all the signs and then you realize that the same thing happened to you, and now you lie there contemplating your life. But you still can't be sure. Flirting's basically a dumb game of chicken with gradual escalation, or just ask if they have answer, usually pretty obvious. I've had a lot of people ask me this just because they're nosy. Not a guarantee of attraction. You don't. One person's just being friendly, is another's take me to a hotel and fuck me right now. He's right, you know. It depends on so many things. Unfortunately, dating is one of those things that can't be predicted because you can't generalize anything. If they ask you to take off your clothes, chances are they're just being friendly. Our pants were soaking wet from walking in the rain. Got to her house, she gave me her joggers to wear so my jeans could dry. Literally got into her pants. Nothing happened. Shrug. I was once called into HR for allegedly flirting with an employee, not part of my own team. Her proof. I was always friendly, offered her milk to go with her coffee, and worst of all, once at an after work, I bought a round of drinks for everyone, her included. The head of HR was a bit puzzled about the whole situation, and asked her what would she then suggest we do to resolve the situation. And she requested that I would stop being friendly to her, and just leave her be. This poor woman just could not accept that I was being friendly. Alright, can I get around for everyone? Everyone except Karen. Ha. No, the stripper is not attracted to you. I beg to differ, I have a massive gravitational pull. When I met my last girlfriend, our eyes met across a crowded dance floor. She rolled her eyes at me, so I picked them up and rolled them back. So what do you do if they have attached eyes? If they're a cashier, waiter, clerk, etc., don't get your hopes up. Waitress niece is a close cousin of stripper nice. Really, with some people you cannot tell. I knew a girl who was super friendly with me, I got interested, and then a few weeks around her I saw this was how she treated every guy. Smiles, oh stop it you, flirting. I wasn't special here. I moved on. I knew a girl who friendly with everyone. We Saturday down at a birthday party and talked non-stop for 3 hours. She was friendly with people, but I hadn't seen her do this before. I got her number and called her, we talked until my phone died. Our 10th wedding anniversary was about 6 weeks ago. Our oldest kid turns 7 in a few months. Are you sure she's into you? Seems too early to tell. Ask them. This is number 1. There was a waitress at a bar that my buddies and I had for like a year. I was into her, but couldn't tell how she felt. She was always fun and flirty, but I realized when she would first walk up to our table, laugh or make a joke, she would look at me. I assumed that meant there was at least a chance she liked me, so I asked her out and she said yes. She was beautiful, had a great figure and was super down to earth. She also turned out to be someone who loudly cheered at high points of movies, and I just don't need that in my life. We went our separate ways. Assuming the person is single or trifling. You ask to see that person again in a different context and the negotiation for available time and date is quick and mutually complete. No, just friends, overtone about it. Thursday at 8. Not available. Not into you. Thursday at 8. Not available, but what about Friday at 9? Else. Look for physicality, proximity, and eye contact when totally unnecessary. Jealousy or defeat, it's subtle, when interacting with someone else of the interested person's gender. Caveat all this with me being terrible about noticing it. My wife points this out to me when we're in public. Once I see it, it's obvious, but until then it's a mystery to me. If she says WTF step bro, you were wrong. Actually that means you were right. Assume attraction and ask them out. If they say no, you get your answer. If they say yes, you get a date. Oh, that's easy. No one is ever attracted to me. Agreed. I am 27 and no has ever had a crush on me after I crossed 18 and became ugly AF. There's no good answer to that question. A million different people may give a million different signals, hints, signs that they're or are not interested in you romantically. What I've found works for me and what I think is the kindest, least awkward way, both towards yourself and the other person, is to have some sort of consistently positive relationship, repeated interaction with them first, and then, in a light-hearted and friendly way and without implying any kind of emotional pressure, just ask if they'd like to go on a date with you. Use the word date. If they say yes, congrats, they're into you at least enough to give it a shot and see where it goes. If they say no, for the love of all that is holy, don't take it as a personal insult, it probably isn't. Keep it light-hearted and take the refusal with grace. They aren't into you, and throwing a tantrum over it or trying to pressure them further isn't going to help them be into you whatsoever. It's not always easy. With my fiancée, when we started hanging out, I would convince myself she liked me and then talk myself out of it. I would walk her home and she'd give me a really awkward friend hug, then run inside, leaving me feeling like I'd misread the signals completely. This went on for about 3 weeks before we finally kissed at a party. I asked her about it afterwards and it turns out she was doing the same thing. 7 years and a proposal later, I think she might have a crush on me, guys. I dunno, man. In high school I went to a dance with a guy as friends, and then he kissed me, as friends, and then we brutally fucked behind the gym, as friends, and we've been dating, as friends, for about 7 years and we're getting married next week, as friends, plus I'm knocked up with his babies. As friends. You can never really know, man. Some people are in it for the long con. You don't. It's a leap of faith. That's all it is. That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith. Well, you can't ever really know, like even if she sleeps with you, she might just be Canadian, so honestly you shouldn't get your hopes up and you better keep looking and wondering. Wow, that was pretty casually explained, lol. The friendly, honest approach has worked for me. You seem really nice, someone I'd like to go out with, if you'd like that too. Quote, if they're already spoken for a disinterested, they'll let you know. Either way, I've noticed that they seem to appreciate the attention, if they sense you're being sincere. I would respond very positively to this approach. It's flattering but non-threatening. Take my upvote. For me, I flat out told him that I liked him and if he asked me out I would say yes. He said thanks, and never asked me out or responded in any way that he liked me back. Bummer. A few months later we kissed. He was like, so, you like me? I should have smacked him upside the head. Apparently he thought I just said that to him to be nice. I automatically assume people are being friendly. It's habit. Edit, geez, didn't expect to wake up with 50+ replies in my inbox in result to self-deprecation. But I think I should clarify some things. I'm a romantic now after struggling with feelings towards romance in general for a bit, but before I discovered what a romanticism was, I just assumed people were being friendly because I was, and still am, too unattractive. Flirting wasn't my strong suit either, and I had a terrible track record with guys, read, one who was an autistic furry liar, and the other who was an autistic, unhygienic, clueless dude. Plus I can't commit to a relationship. I'm depression. Though a guy the first know apparently has a crush on me, and from our interactions I just assumed he was being friendly. Imagine my surprise when his mom told me he was crushing on me. I never would have known otherwise. Edit 2, okay, one more edit. I realize that not all autistic guys and furry guys are bad BFs, y'all do you. This was just a case of bad luck for me. Said guy who has a crush on me also has autism and he's a really kind-hearted dude beneath his frowny exterior. Hygienic 2. Innocent until proven interested. When she asked me out, I was skeptical. When we slept together, more likely, but can't be too sure. When we got married, I'm pretty sure she likes me. I've noticed women that have been interested in me, have started a random conversation with me, like asking advice, about something. If a woman compliments you on something, could be your eyes, or your jacket, or pretty much anything, that might be a clue. Women play with hair, or adjust it more, making more than usual eye contact. Also, if you are sitting next to them, and their knees are pointing a bit towards you, that is a sign. As well, if they get under a table and start giving you head, also a clue.